All right, you guys having fun out there on Spookala or what? Let me hear you make some noise! All right, these panels have been popping today, but I will tell you right now, this next panelist coming up is one of, I don't know if she's the youngest, but she's one of, if not the youngest panelist I've ever had on the stage with me at a show. But don't let that fool you. She could be one of the most athletic, and she's probably one of the scariest. But don't let her scare you from coming up here to this mic in the front and asking some questions. But you know what? I know you guys want her to come up here and get this panel started right now, don't you? All right, without further ado, come on, Miss Amie Donald! Man, they were cheering pretty loud for you right there. That was awesome, right?
Definitely.
All right, so look at this. So he knows if you've got a question for one of these panels, come up here to the mic, and when we have a chance to get to you, we are going to get those questions answered. So before we get to that really quick, for those of you that don't know who she is, go ahead and tell them the role that you play and why you're even at this Comic-Con in the first place.
So I played M3GAN in the movie M3GAN, and it was so much fun to film her, and it was so amazing. I just love it so much.
So as you can see, she's probably not from around here. So where are you? Where did you walk all the way from? You walked from your house all the way to the show, right?
I live in New Zealand, so it's a pretty long way away.
Our legs should be tired.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have a lot of people lined up here right now. We're going to go right to them and to their questions, and then we can continue to have some of our little conversation after that. So, first person in the line, tell her your name and what is your question?
Hi, my name is Charlie, and I was wondering how does it feel having a Horror Night house based off of your character M3GAN?
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I mean, I never expected M3GAN to be that big that it would get to this stage, and I'm really happy and grateful that I did get the opportunity to play M3GAN and be able to have all of this cool experience.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right, next up, what is your name? What is your question?
Hi, my name is Jacqueline. Can you hear me okay through the mask?
Yes.
So I was actually the clown that gave you the balloon gift on Friday.
Oh, thank you.
Hello again. So I love almost everything about the character M3GAN. There's one thing that kind of always leaves me scratching my head though, and that is the fact that she runs on all fours like an animal. I was just wondering, what was the creative thought process behind making that decision? Like, this is how M3GAN runs.
Well, so it was always in the script from the beginning, and in the audition they actually got me to go on all fours but not run. They got me to try and contort my body and see how creepy I could be on all fours. And I mean, I always run on all fours with my dog, so I already kind of had a little bit of experience before doing the movie, but it was really cool to practice with everybody on set to do the run. Yeah.
So it was just a matter of making her look creepier.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much. All right, next up, so I got to tell you real quick, so we have the stage spoke and all that. I was like, is she holding a life-size doll? Because your daughter was like doing like this, looking around. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so realistic.
My name is Pam, and
You can point the mic down there if you like.
She was wondering what you did to celebrate getting the role of M3GAN.
Oh, okay. So when I found out I got the role, I mean, when I was auditioning, I didn't think I was going for the role of M3GAN. So when I got the call, I was actually in dance, and my mum, she got the call, and when we got out of dance, we hopped in the car, and then she started sounding disappointed as if I didn't get it. She was trying to build that up, and then she said, oh, I'm so sorry, but you got the role, and I was just shocked. I was really excited, and then I had all my family come over, and then we celebrated. Yeah. You're welcome.
Hey, thank you so much. All right, next up, what's your name? What's your question?
My name is Ryan. Very close. Most people who become hit iconic actor status for a horror role at your age do so usually as the hero kid. Take your Stranger Things cast, your It cast, do that kind of role. You've had that status very, very young for playing a villain. How does that specifically feel? Being an iconic horror villain at your age?
I mean, again, I think it's unbelievable. I did not expect it to be this big. No one did. But as soon as the trailer came out, it went huge and I was just in shock. But I loved playing M3GAN. I really liked it. Yeah.
Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Next up, what's your name? What is your question?
My name is Haley, and I was wondering from the day I saw your movie, what's your favorite scary movie?
My favorite scary movie?
That's not your own.
Okay.
Can't be your own.
My two favorites are The Purge and The Black Phone. Yeah.
So are there other scary movies that you want to watch and your mom who's sitting out here in the audience is like, nah, you can't watch that yet, you've got to get a little older?
Well, Dad's the one to go to for the scary movies, so I want to watch It. I really want to watch It.
So what you're saying is mom might say, no, you're not going to watch it, and you're like, well, Dad!
Yeah.
All right, so we know what we need to do. So next time we see each other, I want to know that you've watched It. Okay?
Yeah.
Make sure your dad lets you watch that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next up. All right, what is your name?
My name is Haley, and I was asking if you're going to make a second movie about M3GAN.
So, yes, there is going to be a sequel. It has been confirmed.
But that is as much as she's able to say about the second movie. There's things called NDAs, which means you can't talk about it when you're on the stage. So she can say yes, and that's about it.
Also, how early did you start kind of doing gymnastics and dance and all that stuff?
Well, I've been dancing ever since I was 5 years old, so that was the thing I loved and I was brought up doing. So I thought it was very awesome to be able to do a dance in M3GAN, which was great. You're welcome.
Thank you guys so much. All right, next up, what is this? Is this? I feel like we're at a recital right now. Look at all these pretty little dresses coming up here to the stage. This is wild. All right, what's your name? What's your question? What's both of your names? And what's your question?
I'm Saskia, this is Sagan, and we were wondering what was your favorite part of the movie to film?
My favorite part of the movie to film was the dancing and the hallway scene. I think those were my two favorites.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. All right, next up, what's your name? What is your question?
My name is Cece, and I was just wondering what inspired you to throw the dances in for your dance scene, because it's probably one of my favorite things.
So the question, if you guys couldn't hear out there, she said, what inspired you to throw in the dances for the dance scene?
So, well, the dance was never actually in the script, but the more we were working on M3GAN, the more the director was watching all of my dance videos, and he just came up to us one day and he was like, do you want to do a dance? And we were like, of course. So my dance teacher, she actually did the choreography for the dance, so she created it, and it was so much fun working on something I love whilst doing dancing, another thing I love. So I thought that was amazing.
I really hope you do it again in the second one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, next up, what's your name? What's your question?
My name is Chelsea, and I was wondering if your character could team up with any other horror movie character, who would it be?
Team up. I think Chucky.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that happening.
Yeah. M3GAN and Chucky.
That'd be an interesting combo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
My name is Dominic. My question is, due to you having a house at Halloween Horror Nights, do you think you're going to go and visit it anytime?
If there is going to be one, I would love to visit it. I've never been to a Halloween Horror Night because in New Zealand, where I live, we don't celebrate Halloween as much as you guys do. I mean, it's kind of just like you go trick-or-treating and dress up and that's about it. But like you guys go full out, you decorate your houses, everywhere you go, it's crazy and I love it over here. It's so cool. But yeah, I would love to go to one if there was one for Megan.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go back a little bit in your life. We're going to think way, 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 way back to all the way back, all those months and years ago when you started dance. What got you into wanting to dance? And at any point, so second question, did you go, you know what, I think that this dance is going to propel me into a horror movie career?
Well, when I was little, I was always just dancing around the house and I would be doing like cartwheels and flips all around the house, and then I really wanted to go to a dance studio and dance. And then when my grandma, I think she actually started telling Mom, you need to take her, you need to take her. So she did, and I loved it. The first class I fell in love with dance, and my dance teacher actually came up to me at the end and she thought I'd been dancing at a different dance studio, but it was my first time. And I loved it. So all of these years I've just been dancing my whole life and it's been awesome. But I would have never thought that dancing would take me into a scary movie.
So what's your favorite form of dance? What's your go-to dance style that you're like, this is the thing that I just vibe with?
My favorite is jazz, but my second favorite is contemporary because that's all of the creepy side and like all of that.
So if dance was your thing, and it still is your thing, how did you even decide, or where was the decision to even go audition for a movie? Where did that even come from?
Well, that actually came from my dance teacher because she said that when I was performing my dances, I could show a lot of emotion through my facial expressions whilst I was dancing. So she was encouraging us and she was saying, you gotta get an agent, you gotta go for some roles. And then after a long time, we finally decided we'd give it a shot. And then I did, and this is what I love now. It's so cool.
So you see yourself as an actor that dances now, not a dancer that also acts?
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
So, as you said, you dancing in the movie wasn't really something that was originally in the script. Do you think, and this is just your personal opinion, that if the director really knew about your dancing before the script was finalized, that there might have been more dancing in the first movie? Do you wish there was more dancing in the first movie?
Definitely. I wish there was more dancing, but what happened is because it was so last minute, he wanted more dancing scenes, but because we decided on it halfway through shooting, we didn't have time. So we didn't have enough time to do anything. We choreographed different dances, but he just chose his favorite one because that's all we had time to do. But I would love to do more dances in the first one.
So what you're saying is that if you could make the decision in what's been filmed for M3GAN for the sequel, if you could make the decision, that would become more of her personality.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, not violating the NDA and not saying that it is. Right? We're just saying if you could make that choice.
If I could, I would definitely add more dancers in there.
And that's something that could maybe set her apart from some of the other characters that are out there.
Yeah.
All right, we got some people lining up here with some more questions. What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Lawrence, and can we have you do the dance for us, the M3GAN dance?
Yeah, sure.
I'm fine with it.
I'll do it over there because there's not enough room.
Oh, snap. Okay. So, just as a forewarning, she's going to do the dance, but if you ask her to actually perform any of the kill scenes in the movie, I'm not up for that. Okay, next up, you got it. What is your name? What is your question?
Hi, I'm Abby. I was wondering, as you continue in your acting career,
genre, but the horror genre I feel has something special. Like, it's so much fun to film horror movies. Like, it's amazing because you get to see all of the behind the scenes stuff, how everything works, and then it's just so much fun in horror.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, have you had a chance to go look at some of the other, or talk to any of the other actors and actresses that are back there in guest row? You've got the cast from Halloween 3 back there that was filmed 41 years ago. I mean, I'm sure in your brain you're like, I don't even comprehend 41 years right now. But that just shows how much staying power some of these movies have. So you know what? 41 years from now, you might have people wanting, hey, can we have some the M3GAN universe, the M3GAN trilogy? They might, you never know.
Yeah.
Is that something you would hope for? Would you love to be able to see M3GAN become this big, gigantic franchise that's got all these spin-offs?
Definitely, I would love that. I mean, it was so fun filming the first one. I feel like if there was more, I would be so grateful to do it.
So back there on the row, you've got the actresses and some actors from The Conjuring. I asked this question on the panel stage yesterday. Samara Lee's back there, who plays Annabelle, another haunted doll. So if M3GAN and Annabelle just happen to find themselves on the same guest row one day, who do you think would win that battle and why?
Oh, I think M3GAN because she is a robot. She's made of titanium, and it says that in the movie. So she's bigger than Annabelle, and I would say she's a bit stronger because she is titanium, I guess.
So that's pretty interesting because I told Samara yesterday, I said, if we don't get an answer from Amie that is the same, which they obviously both pick their own characters, then you guys are just going to have to go battle it out and see who wins. Just like Thunderdome, 2 dolls enter, 1 doll leaves, right? We'll have to see if we can get that Annabelle versus M3GAN sequel made.
Definitely, that'd be so cool.
Okay, so how's it been for you as someone who's very young to try to balance the school and work life? I mean, because I'm sure, you're probably still in school, right? I mean,
yeah.
So how has it been for you to be able to balance? I mean, I'm sure your classmates are like, what the heck, man? I'm having to do math, and Amy's traveling to another continent right now. What in the world? How do you balance that all out?
Well, so I'm doing an online school right now because it's easier for me to just be able to do that because it works around my schedule. But when I was filming the movie, I was actually in school. So my friends, I actually didn't tell them why I was leaving, mainly because I couldn't. And so when I did leave, they just thought I moved schools without telling them. And when I came back, they were like so shocked, and everyone ran up and gave me a big hug. And oh my goodness, I love all of my friends. They're so nice. But yeah, it was. I had a school teacher on set that in between when they were setting up the camera angles or making another set, I would go to school and then he'd be teaching me just normal stuff. So even though we do have a lot of fun stuff on set, you still have to do school.
So has everybody that is your age that you do back then, do they still treat you nice? Are they like, oh my goodness, she's a famous movie star across the world? Has anybody given you any kind of like weird vibes, or has everybody been pretty cool about it?
No, all of my friends just treat me normally, which I really like because they were really excited for me when I told them, and I'm just so happy that they were supporting me and really excited for me. But yeah, they will treat me normally, which is nice.
So you've talked about M3GAN, you've talked about the NDA on a potential M3GAN sequel. Do you have any other projects, any other things that you are trying to get yourself involved in besides the M3GAN sequel that you can talk about?
I've been going for some auditions recently, and I've been doing the conventions a lot around this time. But yeah, I'm just going for more auditions and seeing what I get.
Do you have any auditions that you're like, man, I think I nailed that thing. I might be able to get in there, and I might be able to be a dancing car salesman in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I love all of the auditions I've been getting in, and just trying my best is all you can do.
All right, so do we have any other questions out there in the audience before we continue? If you do, coming up here to the mic, and let's get those things answered. All right, again, like I said, we're just going to continue up here and keep on going. And if you have one, like you've been doing so well, coming up to the mic, and we'll keep it going. So who's your favorite person? You're a star in this movie, but I'm sure that you go to these shows and you're like, Jack Dylan Glazer, he's my heartthrob. Is there anybody? I hope I didn't just out you on that one. But is there anybody back there that you've met that you're like, holy crap, I just got to meet this person?
Yes, definitely. I think Gabriella, definitely, because I'm a huge Stranger Things fan, and she was actually at my very first convention that I went to, and I was in shock because she'd seen the movie and she loved it, and she was excited to meet me, which made me even more excited to see her. And oh my goodness, I love her. She's so nice.
That's awesome. I can tell you guys were super good friends because the way you guys interacted before this panel, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, my man, what is your name? What is your question?
My name is Blythe, and I just want to ask how long it took to film M3GAN.
Well, the filming was actually only 6 weeks long, but we went into lockdown on on the last day of filming. The next day we went into lockdown for COVID, and so basically we just got it in the nick of time, but then we had to do reshoots for the less gorier version, so that was like another week, so like 7 weeks all up.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot, my man. Okay, so prior to becoming this actress and being M3GAN, you did a lot of competitive dance. And as your mom informed us this morning, you actually are the only Kiwi, someone from New Zealand, that's actually won at the Dance World Cup.
Yes.
Why don't you talk about the experience of being in that kind of situation with that many eyes on you at the Dance World Cup?
That was so crazy because what happens is you go to the Australian and New Zealand nationals, and whoever wins that gets to go through to the World Cup, and it's at different places every time. So when I won, I was just so excited to be able to have an experience to go to the Dance World Cup in Portugal. So it was so much fun going over there because we got to see what Portugal was like, and when I was doing the dancing, there were so many people, but because I love dancing, I was just so distracted with what I love to do, I didn't really get scared, and I just thought it was so amazing, and I got a bronze and silver, and it was crazy because there was like 50 people in my dance category, and so I was aiming for the top 20, and I beat my goal, which I was so happy about, and I'm the first New Zealander to even bring back medals from the Dance World Cup, which is crazy to me.
And how old were you when this took place?
I was 9 when this happened.
9, that's amazing. Can you guys remember back to what you were doing at 9? I mean, you were just hopefully not eating the Elmer's glue off of your paper at school. She's winning World Cups.
Yeah.
That is incredible. So what was more nerve-wracking for you, going and dancing in front of the elite of the World Cup, or dancing in front of a camera crew that you know is going to be like, do it again, do it again, do it again? Which was more nerve-wracking for you?
I think probably dancing at the Dance World Cup because there was so many more people, and I mean, the dance on set, it was a little one, so it wasn't that intense, and I only had to do it 5 times. So at the Dance World Cup, I performed 2 different dances, and they're both like a minute and something seconds, and so you're doing it for a long time, and you're trying so hard just to focus on your technique and everything. So yeah, I'd say Dance World Cup.
So if you could choose, would you, if you could only have one, would it be I want to go back and do the World Cup again and dance in front of that, or I want to be able to film another movie where I get to dance in it?
I would like to film another movie and dance again because I love filming, but I also love my dancing. So I love that in M3GAN I got to do both of the things I loved. So yeah.
All All right, we got a couple more up here with some questions. How you doing there, my man? What is your name? What's your question?
Hey, Amie, my name is Brian. My question is, since you mentioned you love Stranger Things, who's your favorite character on that show?
My favorite character is Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah.
That makes sense.
She's awesome. I mean, oh my goodness.
Have you ever met her?
No, I haven't. I would die to meet her, but I was so excited to meet Gabriella because she was one of my favorite characters as well, but Millie is my top one.
So thank you. Fantasy booking here. You don't look much different than Millie Bobby Brown in the early seasons other than having hair.
Yeah.
So what if they needed to do a flashback in season 5 and Millie Bobby Brown was 11, was doing some dancing, maybe you could get the role.
I would love to do that. That would be amazing. I've actually had a lot of people tell me I look like the younger Millie Bobby Brown, and I'll take it.
All right, thank you so much. All right, next up, what's your name? What's your question?
Saskia again, and I was just wondering which scene in M3GAN was like the hardest to film or like took the longest?
I'd say the hardest was probably running on all fours, but not because it was like hard to run, because at that was the very first scene we filmed on set. So it was very like new to me. I'd walked on this new set, it was in the forest, and at that point we were still trying to figure out my mask, because in the mask I had very limited vision, so I couldn't see a lot, and I had a 30-minute time frame because when I was breathing in the mask, the eyes would fog up because, I mean, I don't have blue eyes, so they had to put blue eyes on the mask. So when I was breathing, it would fog up and they'd have to take it and wipe the eyes out. But that was probably the hardest scene because first, day on set, that's what we first got into.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, most of the violence in M3GAN takes place off screen. Were you present for any of those moments, and was there anything that made you squeamish? Like, you know that a dog meets his demise, and there's a few other situations in there where there's some issues. Do you feel like that was, did that make you squeamish at all? Did you have any problems when you looked at the script? You're like, oh, I don't really know if I want this character I'm portraying to do these things.
No, I actually loved it. I was actually really fascinated in how they film all of these scenes. Like, I got to see how they do all of the fake blood, I got to see the prosthetics, and I got to see everything. And I never felt scared or squeamish at all. I was just so fascinated in all of this. But when you said Dewey, he was so sweet. He is the best dog. His real name is Dax, and me and Violet would play with him while we weren't filming scenes, but he was so cute.
So I see somebody came up and then sent out, did I take your question? It's all good. Hey, as long as the information is there, as long as you got your answer, that's good. So I saw you walk up and walk back. I'm like, dude, I think we just had a mind meld there. So you didn't even get to speak into the mic. You just shot the question right into my brain. That was an efficient use of the time right there, man. Good stuff. I love it. So, is there any franchise that's back there in the room? I know we talked about Stranger Things. That you're like, I could see myself being in The Conjuring. I could see myself being in It. I could see myself filming anything with Seth Green. Is there anybody back there that you're like, that'd be cool if I could collab with that person on something?
Also, Bonnie from The Nun. She was so nice. I met her in Texas, and she was so lovely to me. I think it would be awesome to do a collaboration with her. That would be so cool.
And you know, it's funny that you bring that up because I mentioned this to Douglas Tate earlier, and I witnessed with my own two eyes. So Bonnie, who plays Valak in The Conjuring, took Samara under her wing in a sense and tried to protect her at the beginning in The Conjuring, and tried to make sure to kind of help raise her up, and not like from a motherly role, just as a fellow actress. And this morning we're in the green room, and I saw Bonnie back there with Amie, and it was kind of the same thing, just in the green room. Hey, let me show you. They were talking about the stuff, and it was really cool seeing this character that you're like, Valak is scary as crap in The Conjuring. I mean, that is one of the scariest people in all of like horror movies, and she's just back there. Hey, let me show you going back, and I gotta pet this horse that was 1 month old last night, and kiss this little baby horse, and I gotta go out there. And I'm like, if people could only see, you know, the relationship that she has with Samara, with Amie, was really, really neat. So, so tell us more about your time that you've been able to spend with her. Has she been able to help you out with any kind of acting, any kind of tips and tricks in that fashion? Just here's how to be a scary person, horror movie wise, on set.
Yeah, definitely. She's so nice, and she's always telling us like everything to like what we should be doing and what we should go for. Like we should keep doing auditions whilst we're still over here and doing all of this. But she's so nice, and I mean, I love her so much. She's so kind.
So, whenever writers create movies, everybody thinks my movie is going to make it. It's going to be the thing that's going to be the next big icon. You've got, you know, Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers, and then you've got Art the Clown that just went viral from Terrifier and became a huge icon. At what point did you and your family realize, holy crap, M3GAN is actually going to be, this is a big thing, you know? I mean, like, you know, what made you go, man, I think I'm a part of this next big franchise?
I mean, what happened is like, we didn't know it was going to be this big. No one did. No one on set was expecting it to be as big as it turned out. So I was really shocked when it came out because we didn't know the trailer was going to come out, and because it's different time difference over here, it was like really early in the morning, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and Mum's phone just kept buzzing, and it was like every 2 minutes. And then Mum ran into my room and she woke me up and she said, I'm so sorry, I left you sleeping as long as I could, but I have to show you this. And I was like, what is happening? And the trailer was out, and I was so happy. But I was shocked because everyone was going crazy over it and crazy over the dance, which I was just blown away because nobody thought it was going to be that big. And yeah.
Something that was thrown as an afterthought at the end of the movie became the marketing spot. That's amazing.
I mean, for me, I still can't believe that the dance is one of the main things that people love about M3GAN, and that was never in the script. So.
And you're like, dude, that was easy. I would do that to warm up in my dance classes.
Yeah.
All right, we got someone else up here with a question. What's your name and what's your question?
My name is Austin, and you had mentioned being in the legacy of other franchises. Before I got to watch M3GAN, people were comparing it to like it's a new age of Child's Play, Chucky. How do you feel about being compared to that?
I think it's crazy because Chucky is such a huge character. He's been huge for a long time, and when I saw being compared to Chucky and Annabelle and all of these huge characters, I loved it. I thought it was so cool, like being able to have worked on this character who has become a big sensation.
Thank you.
So you say you've been to a few cons prior to this. When you walk in and you see that there's M3GAN dolls and M3GAN pictures and stuff around in the booths, does it are you like, holy crap, that's me, but they really don't know it's me? Like, are you able to walk around? I mean, obviously as you go to these shows more and more, people know your face. So they know, oh, this is Amie Donald, she's the one behind the mask in the movie. But at first you're able to walk around and take a look and be like, oh yeah, that one looks kind of like me, and I'm not sure about that one. Oh, whoa, that's really looks like me.
Yeah, I mean, I love walking around all of the vendors and seeing everything. The vendors are so cool. They are so talented. And walking around and being able to see myself, I just think it's crazy. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, and then I'm like, oh, I have to get that, I'll buy that, I'll get that too.
So do you have a little collection of
I do.
Oh, you do? I was hoping that wasn't going to be your question. I was like, oh man, you can drop kick me after the panel if I would have taken your question again. I'm going to let you ask because I feel like the next thing that comes out of my mouth is going to be exactly what your question was. Okay, real quick, let's mind meld. I'm not going to say it, let's mind meld. Okay, I've got it. All right, what's your name? What's your question?
My name is Katrina, and my question is, you mentioned that you worked roughly about 13 weeks, both, production before COVID and after. How long were you in your mask, like collectively?
Well, we were in it for like 30 minutes at a time, but every minute you see on camera takes an hour to film. So it was a long time, but like I loved it. I mean, after a while I kind of forgot that the mask was on my face until I couldn't see anything, and then I'd be like, oh, that's right. But I loved all of the Moreau team and the puppeteers because they helped bring Megan to life, and the mask was just a fun experience.
So, another question, if you don't mind. How many stunt doubles did you have, or did you not have any?
I did all of my own stunts, so everything you saw was me.
And just so you know, that's exactly, I felt every single one of those questions. I knew it, so that's why I was quiet right there.
Oh my goodness.
So do you have any more photo ops set up for today, or are you done with your photo ops?
I do. I have one more at 3 o'clock.
So at 3 o'clock, she's got a photo op set up. And are you in costume for that one?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so since she is in costume for a photo op at 3 o'clock, we're going to let her, we're going to end this panel so that she has the ability to get back there and get that panel or get that costume on. You do have to follow me over to my booth because Peter Ramundo, who animated a lot of people's childhood at Disney, did a cover for one of the comics that I did, and he signed a copy of it for you, and it's back in my booth.
Thank you.
All right, so before we give our last round of applause here for Amie Donald, if you're signing up for the cosplay contest, I'm sure that all the spots have already been taken, but if there's any chance that they aren't, make sure you go back to the information booth so you can sign up, because we're going to have the Ron Perlman panel at 3, the cosplay contest after that, but cosplay is going to be doing a lot of pre-judging informally and whatnot starting about 3 o'clock over here to the stage, right? Stage left side of the stage, and can't wait for the Ron Perlman panel, can't wait for the cosplay contest, but I've had a ton of fun up here with the one and only